Sometimes we might just get stuck in our own head throughout our daily lives. The overwhelming responsibilities at home and work can lead to overthinking, self-doubt, and lack of action. Over the last 2 years, journaling has been a really helpful habit for me. Using both classic and digital tools, I've expanded my writing ability, worked through complex problems, brainstormed YouTube ideas, and much more. One of the apps that supports my habit is Day One. In 2023, I read a book called Storyworthy. The author, Matthew Dix, is an award-winning storyteller. In the book, he details some of the skill sets that he's learned throughout the years, telling stories on stage and writing stories in this book. An exercise he gives is called Homework for Life. Effectively, the best stories can be found in everyday life. You don't have to jump out of airplanes or climb Mount Everest to have stories that would make a profound impact on the world. These are things that other people can relate to as well, scenarios that they may have found themselves in the past. Matt says, I decided that at the end of every day, I'd reflect upon my day and ask myself one simple question. If I had to tell a story about today, a 5-minute story on stage about something that took place over the course of this day, what would it be? As benign and boring and inconsequential as it might seem, what was the most story-worthy moment of my day?
How did you feel about this homework for life initially?
Great. Another daily task to do. How am I going to fit this into my already jam-packed routine? And why would I pay for an app that's something I can do with paper and pencil? Enter Ali Abdaal, a prominent YouTuber and now proclaimed productivity guru. Ali has a video on journaling with over 1 million views where he talks about journaling in a paper journal as well as using digital apps, including Day One. It's no coincidence this Leuchtturm 1917 journal is the one that I choose to write in and that I use Day One as my digital journal app of choice after years of watching Ali. There it is. It's as easy as that. You just click download and it's available everywhere. I constantly am moving between phone, iPad, and computer when I'm doing work, so it's really nice no matter what device that I'm using, I have an easy way to get information into Day One.
What were some of the challenges of consistent journaling?
In the beginning, journaling seemed daunting. What do I write? When do I write? How often do I write? How long am I supposed to go? Day One makes things easy by supporting automation via Apple Shortcuts. It has prompts and templates in case you encounter writer's block or don't know what to write. And it works everywhere, so you can have it on your phone, your laptop, or your iPad, so it has easy access to entry, no matter what device you choose to use. In addition to that, reminders are one of the things that I think is the most powerful that Day One has. You can set it to remind you to input data every day, and it has an On This Day feature where it looks backwards in time and resurfaces entries of the past, where you can look back on your days with new memories or even trigger old memories that you might have thought that you have forgotten about. There's been plenty of times where I've opened up the app to do these homework for life assignment, and whatever I did that day actually triggered a story from years ago, childhood or college or high school. And that became the topic of the few sentences for that day.
Would you be willing to share some examples with us?
Of course, these aren't really fully finished ideas. A lot of the times it's just a few sentences that will then trigger the memory. The idea would be you jot down a few sentences and then you come back later in order to flesh out the full story. I had one titled, Guess What I Got Today? I remember this event standing in the kitchen, talking to my wife, and I said, Guess what I got today? She replied, A raise? I replied, No. And then I recounted the story of how I got a raise today. The thing that I was so excited about was actually an Amazon package. So this reads, You got a raise? No. Proceeds to tell story about getting a raise. I got an Amazon bag. This is what I was excited about. Another example titled, Working on Friday Should Be Illegal. a conversation I had at work with a guy named Greg, and again at home with my wife. And I asked the question, why are lawmakers not doing this? They're worried about all kinds of other crap. Why have we not made working on Friday illegal yet? Then, on a little bit more serious note, one titled, Not Taking Abilities for Granted. That's the 5-second snippet that I had that day, and it reads, carpal tunnel impacting what I can do during the day. Might need to teach myself to write with my right hand. I'm a left-handed person. I still struggle from time to time with carpal tunnel in this wrist from repetitive tasks, both at work and at home. And as a matter of fact, I did try to start teaching myself to write with my right hand, and I write horribly with my right hand, and it's actually really difficult as an adult to teach yourself to write with the opposite hand. I definitely don't take for granted when I'm healthy and active and able to do the things that I like to do. Morning pages. Morning pages is a practice that originated with Julia Cameron. This is a stream of conscious writing technique where first thing in the morning, you sit down and you write 3 pages. From her website, morning pages are 3 pages of longhand stream of consciousness writing, done first thing in the morning. There is no wrong way to do morning pages. They are not high art. They are not even writing. They are about anything and everything that crosses your mind, and they are for your eyes only. Don't overthink morning pages. Just put 3 pages of anything on the page and do 3 more again tomorrow. I did this rigorously for about 6 months before I wanted to give up. And give up is exactly what I did. February of this year, I just couldn't take the routine anymore of getting out of bed and doing writing the first thing in the morning every single day. I put way too much pressure on myself to do this every day, and if I missed a day, I would beat myself up unnecessarily. I had forgotten why I even started this habit in the first place.
Why did you start in the first place?
A few months later, I got a notification from day 1 that says, on this day, you have an entry. I didn't even realize that I had notifications turned on for day 1, so I clicked it. Here's what the prompt said. What work do you like doing? And I wrote, I enjoy taking photos and videos and doing work that makes me feel productive, even if it isn't related to my profession. Whoa, that's exactly what I needed to hear at the time. After battling health issues for months and low output on YouTube, I was beginning to question whether or not this was even a good idea starting a channel in the first place. Was it really worth it? It turns out I just needed to relive why I started in the first place, to get my ideas onto paper or into an app, go about my day with a little less stress, not worrying too much about the what-if scenarios going on in my head. So I adjusted my journaling practice to be slightly healthier and a little less rigorous. I will miss days. That is okay. I won't do homework for life every day. That is also okay. There's one thing that I do know, it's that I am not perfect. Journaling has done me good, and I believe it will do me good now and into the future. I've come up with video ideas, titles, thumbnails, solved financial problems, and even given myself a little bit more clarity about my why. And even though I don't have everything figured out, my life is certainly better with day 1 in it.
What are your final thoughts on journaling with day 1?
My final thoughts on day 1. I would encourage anybody to start journaling, but I would caution you by setting realistic goals and expectations around the journaling practice. Just like any hobby, there will be days that you don't want to do it. There will be days that you push through that feeling and you'll be happy that you did. But there will be days that you take off, and you should be happy that you took off as well. This is a highly personal practice, so you have to do what works for you. It's about making small improvements over a long period of time and not about being perfect. It's October 2024 and the app of the month is Day 1. If you'd like to check out Day 1, they have a great free option. The paid plan gets you unlimited journals, a bunch of other features, and it's a highly reasonable $35 a month. I know many of us have subscription fatigue at the moment, but with such a small price to pay and such a great app that constantly gets updates with the iOS and macOS updates, it's well worth the money for me. So I don't know if I'm going to do this as a series, but I had a couple ideas and things that I wanted to try in this video, a little bit more of a documentary interview style that I injected in there. It was fun coming up with the ideas. I have a list of apps that I'd love to go through with App of the Month, make a long form video like this, and a couple short form videos with some tools and tips and tricks to go along with it. I've never really made a style of video like this, so right now, this is before I've edited it. I really hope it comes out okay. And I also hope it provides you some value and you enjoyed watching. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe, stay tuned for more about day one, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.